starting the stream again. Got another interview for Levi to start out with. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to him, and we'll get this going.
Hello guys, one more time, ConNooga in the afternoon on day 2. ConNooga 2025 here. My name is Levi. I'm your host for ConSuite Media, and we have another guest here today for some more theatrical versions of live action roleplay.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. What's your name again?
My name is Kat, and I am one of the storytellers for the After the Sunsets games, LARPs, or story combat.
Yeah, my favorite expression about D&D is, my character's OP not because I want to beat everyone, because I want to get back to the story.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Is we have these characters who have been with us for 10 years now. They've been playing, we're historical roleplay LARP, so we're set back in like the 1500s currently. We started in the 1000s, so 1067, and so every time we've done a convention, we've followed life historical events that we can change.
Right. So one day we're eventually going to have Cyberpunk 2077 Masquerade of the Vampire Ball.
That is a possibility. I don't know if my father or our head storyteller would be good with that. He is definitely more historical. I would love the Cyberpunk aspect.
Copyright on that one there.
I'll file it right.
We've got it on camera. I've got proof. I've unfortunately genius ideas to people that have become great things, and I've gotten zero credit for.
Well, it's not going to be for many years. Like I said, we've been doing this for about 10 years. Sam, our head storyteller, his wife is one of the track directors at DragonCon. So he's forced to go with her every year. He's been going with her for 20-something years now. And kind of discovered there's nothing to do at night that's not risque and, kind of adult rated.
Right, involving vampires with teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah. The stuff that not everyone wants to play with.
Right.
So there's not anything for like the nerds who want to just game. And so we started up this company that runs these parlor LARPs, so these storytelling social LARPs that how to word this correctly, that allow a whole group of people, upwards of 60 people at a time, to interact with each other and not have to actually like physically fight. There is no combat. There is no physical contact in our LARP. So it's all you have your powers, you have your what you can do, and it's a funny way of settling things. But toss with me. Do a rock paper scissors.
Ready?
Rock paper scissors shoot. And then if it's a tie, whoever has the highest stats on your sheet would actually win. So it follows the Vampire the Masquerade systems, but there's actual whole books written just for LARP aspects. And it's not a new thing. Atlanta's has had a LARP community for about the last 40 years. And it's all around the city.
Now, how long have you guys been doing this here?
So this is our second year at ConNooga. We were here 2 years. Some small Tennessee people, some Georgia people. I came in from Alabama with a friend. So all just kind of came up, and we're doing a small night LARP. We run from about 7 p.m. to till we're kicked out, essentially. So 2 a.m., if not longer than that. So sleep is not a friend.
I got you. So I think the natural thought anybody would have hearing this would be like, oh, it's got to be some kind of tabletop system like Dungeons & Dragons. And that's my logical assumption hearing it. But I'll bet you it's probably more advanced than that. Am I right?
So it is. So it is based off of a tabletop system. Vampire the Masquerade World is a tabletop system. It's also a video. Masquerade Bloodlines is actually like a computer game. It is a huge system. It's been going for 40 years
I've
now.
seen a number of games, advertised here and there.
Yeah. So it's based off of that, but it's taking the character that you would write down on your paper and actually becoming that character. So we have people who dress up. I am currently not dressed up as mine. I play a were-coyote. I play a were-coyote who is the barmaid in the magical tavern that's there to serve you alcohol, get you drinks, and play tricks on you.
So a coyote trickster barmaid.
Yep, that's all
Just like regular barmaids.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's kind of the purpose.
No, I'm kidding.
So it's based off of the tabletop system, but you just evolve it. You actually make it into live theater.
Right. No, I dig it. And again, like you basically eliminated the combat system, so it is more just theater.
Yeah. So you do have your combat, but you don't have any physical combat. We're not a boffer LARP, which I have mad respect for the boffer LARPs. I do not want to be hit in the head with a foam sword on most days. My family's in the SCA, and I have definitely done the fighting aspect of that. But I would prefer my talking and acting. I've done a lot of theater, a lot of creative arts in that aspect. So it's a lot more comfortable for me than it is for getting out and running around in the cold.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because if you break apart the words live action role play, it's an indication that the live action means it's not 2D or on a tabletop there, but the role play is something that's almost entirely skipped.
Yep.
You're role playing combat, not a story.
That has always been my kind of issue with like the boffer LARPs.
It's the wrong name.
Yeah, there's not a real good name for it. A LARP is a LARP in their minds, and I'm like, I fully agree.
Right.
But I really like the role play aspect of it. I love becoming my characters, just dressing up and taking on a persona that's not myself.
Yeah, no, theater of the mind and escapism, you know?
Yep.
And I have an argument that any combination of sci-fi and or fantasy is deeply entrenched in the concept of escapism there. Because while sometimes we want to form a representation that is a way for us to process things that in reality are too awful, sometimes we just don't want anything to do with it.
That is what I like about fantasy. People ask me what kind of books you like. I said, please give me a fantasy book. Why? Why don't you like reading nonfiction? Because I don't want reality. I want to escape my reality currently. I want to be something that's fantastical rather than, everyday average cat.
Right. I'm not having a good time, and I'd like to read something else, thank you.
Exactly. I would love to turn the page to a different chapter that's not this current time period.
Right. I feel you. Now I'm actually really curious here. It's kind of not related, but I want to know,
Sure.
What are we reading right now? I feel like it's going to be a good answer.
So I'm currently reading this series, and it is kind of set in Las Vegas with a 2-bit con artist magician named Daniel Faust. And he's a thief who's kind of stuck saving the world in an anti-hero fashion.
I'll say with the name of Faust, it does have certain implications.
Yeah, definitely has the implications of demons. And there are lots of demons in it.
I like my classic literature, you know?
I do too. I'm a classical humanities major. It's what I went to school for.
Oh, very cool.
Mythology and culture.
I love the fact that you can have a degree in mythology nowadays, and I didn't know that until recently.
Yep. I actually took it because a lot of classes, like a lot of the sciences and everything, so your doctors, your chiropractors, any of those facilities, they actually like having people who have more humanities because they're going to get sued less with those people because you actually know how to interact with others.
I suppose so.
Yeah. I know the religion of this person. I know the culture of this person. I'm not going to step on, a boundary that I shouldn't because of a lack of knowledge. So when I was looking in school originally, I kind of learned that. I was like, that's a interesting thing, and I like culture.
I was like you've had history in not only the storytelling, somewhere between world, am I right?
Yep. I actually started out, who was my husband at the time, and I actually started it out with the people that I'm running this with. I've known them for upwards of 15 years now. They were friends of mine that I met actually online. I met them through Second Life roleplay. So a virtual roleplay system that then realized we were in the same city and run Vampire, at least try.
Right, yeah, the tabletop games.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, but I know that there are subscription services where they just send you tabletop games, like stuff you've never heard of, and it just comes and goes.
I've gone into my local card shops because I also like collecting Magic the Gathering cards. I just like collecting things.
Right, you could try something cheaper like drugs.
I could. I really could. But I would rather the pretty art.
It's not a joke, folks.
It's really, really not. I know how much my brother spent on those cards.
I know. I knew a guy who, if he ever was struggling for money, he had multiple sets of collections of MTG cards. And he'd be like, yeah, I need to pay, mortgage this month. I'll just sell this one, set of collection. And I didn't follow the game well enough to really answer what he said it was, but I knew, the people around me were like, oh, he's got one of those. And I'm like, oh, good Lord, what is going on here? And he'd do it. And then he'd spend, the next year recollecting one item at a time. And they'd be worth, $2,000 to $3,000, and he'd pay a house payment out of that easy.
Yep, absolutely. I don't have anything that good. I just started, but I enjoy the I enjoy opening it up and seeing what I'm getting. I am a sucker for grab bags, mystery bags. You hand me a mystery bag, and I am through the roof happy.
Right, that pleasant Christmas surprise, recaptured in some other concept.
Yep, always. So I'm a very easy person to please in that aspect.
I gotcha. So tell us, where can we find these fantastic games here?
So our game is currently, we are over room 15. We set up every morning around 9 a.m. With characters. So if you don't feel comfortable making your own character sheet, we have somebody who knows the system, a bunch of different ones. We have vampire characters. We have all kinds of shifting characters. So your werewolves, your other shifters, and then we have our changelings, which to most people would be fae.
Right. There's some terminology crossover there.
Yep. And usually, most Vampire the Masquerade games and World of Darkness games don't have all three of them together. You have one or the other or the other.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would assume here at the convention, it's probably a lot of people in t-shirt and jeans and the random costume that may or may not fit in here.
Yep.
But I bet in your spare time, it's probably a little bit more dressed up. Am I right?
Sometimes.
A little bit?
Yeah. I mean, we accept you can come in dressed as whatever you want to come in. We are not judging you on who is sitting in front of you. We're telling what it looks like. I have a few picking the complete opposite gender. And as long as I am aware beforehand, I'm like, cool, you are Lady so-and-so. Awesome. I will remember you are Lady so-and-so, and this is what you look like, and this is what you're doing.
It's an important question. I get asked this by people who don't go to conventions, who want to all the time. Like, oh, what costume should I wear? You are not required to.
You are absolutely not required
option.
to. We have some garb that we've brought ourselves that is, if you're joining us with the LARP, you can dress up if you want. You can snag a piece and wear it and return it afterwards. We'll wash it and, get it all cleaned up before the next convention. But if you come in jeans and a t-shirt, I finally drove up from Alabama yesterday, got here just in time for convention. I was in jeans, t-shirt, a winter jacket, and a kitty cat hat. And that was what I played in. So
Sounds cozy.
it was. I'm a native Floridian, so this is chilly.
I feel you. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I am born and raised in Florida, and I've been in Alabama for a long time myself as well. So it's funny you're also from there. Some things in common.
I actually flew from Orlando into Alabama. A friend picked me up, and we drove together up here. I didn't feel like making the drive from Orlando up to Chattanooga. That was not a drive I wanted to make on my car, so I was like, I'll just have somebody else drive and get to see a friend.
I got you. All right. Are there any social medias we should be aware of? Any place we can find you besides just this room?
So we do have a Discord, and we also, so it's going to be after the sunsets. So after the sunsets games, that's, I think, all one word. And then we also have a Facebook group and an Instagram. I don't have the card on me, unfortunately.
That's fine. There should be enough information to find them, right?
Yeah, we can definitely go room 15. You'll see a bunch of people, and you'll see a bunch of signs.
Excellent. Good times. All right, is there any other factoids we should know before we end this here today?
Anyone's welcome. Anyone over 16. We do have that limit just because things can get very dark and...
Sure.
So
Sure, I could see how that could happen.
Anyone under 16, you have to have a parent plan.
No, that makes perfect sense there.
Liability there.
All right, well, I think that's about all the time we got here today. My name is Levi. This is Kat. This is ConNooga 2025, and we'll see you guys again soon.